And across the road from the Hotel Chelsea was this amazing church door, which was green and very flaky, not quite the same as this, but very, very flaky. And I just became fascinated by it and took lots of photos of it, and it sort of stayed with me. And then I came back to North Yorkshire, and over a period of, what's it been, you know, more than a decade, just started doing what I normally did, which was to go for lots of walks in the area, but began to notice more green doors, more really interesting green doors. And so the space that we're in now is just that. It is the result of years of collecting, really, collecting green doors of different types that I personally found interesting. If there's a theme to them other than them being green, it's that they have very interesting textures. Most of them, the shapes that are on there are generally interesting. And in most cases, actually, weirdly, and I didn't think about this until after I'd photographed most of them, there's nobody behind these doors. You know, but bacteria level, there's all sorts of things going on the surface of that door and potentially behind it as well. So that just became a little kind of collection theme for me. So none of these pictures have been shared previously, and actually none of the pictures that I've taken over a lot of years have been shared, and that goes right back to, you know, in my teens when I first got a camera, decent one, and it covers things like the Hume Crescents in Manchester, the aftermath of the Toxteth riots, a royal wedding, a street party, the Chelsea Hotel itself. Took lots of pictures not knowing that the hotel was about to be gutted and all the paintings and everything removed, and lots of things in between. So in a way, if I've got you know, a record as a photographer, it's almost as archive photography. You know, a lot of the things that I photographed have actually, over time, disappeared or changed. My own childhood, which was actually brought up in care, in children's homes, foster homes, and so on. And where that connects with photography is that when everybody else went home for, you know, summer or for Christmas, I didn't have a home to go to, so I used to do other things, and I kind of fairly quickly learned that it was interesting to get hold of a camera and see what was around there at, you know, the times between the terms, basically, when I was at drama school but hadn't gone home to, you know, to home. And that connected to me as a collector, which I was as a child in care. So I was an enormous, you know, coin collector, stamp collector. If it was old, I was interested in it. You know, here we are. But there was something about that as well. So if I tried to make sense of that in terms of doors, you know, what do doors represent? Well, they represent portals, don't they? They represent opportunity. They also represent, you know, blockage, refusal, danger, you know, all those things that we all encounter through life. But I guess, you know, I'm trying to sort of self-analyze myself after the event in a way, but I guess that's some of what was going on here. You know, this is me having a route around in the countryside in North Yorkshire, inspired by that, you know, amazing door that I saw in New York. It's probably one of my favorites. This is an allotment in Whitby. It's the only one where I felt I had to include words in it. I've been trying to just keep it back to the door itself, but, you know, for one person, this represents utopia, and this person's utopia is beyond this gate, because clearly, you know, there's a lot of effort being put in here to keep people out. You know, do not enter my utopia. There's actually two houses together like that, but it's in Sands End, and it's been empty for as long as I can remember. Now, what's going on there? What's the history of that? And I think history is really quite important when it comes to buildings. And of course, doors are these portals, aren't they, for the buildings? The council are very good at painting over graffiti. So I realised I just had a very short time to actually get a photograph of that. And I just love the marks of interaction there, the scoring, and also the colour. Almost by coincidence, the colour of the graffiti itself is not a match, but it kind of mirrors or echoes or reflects against the beautiful foliage there. You want to sort of get your fingers in there and play with it. Somebody said to me, you want to lick it. I'm not sure about that, but, you know, I love that instinct that somebody should feel so drawn to it like that. And it's just somebody's garage, you know, or Scarborough's oldest door. And here it is in situ. built into that wall. Lovely detail on the lock there. But then this particular door actually disappeared, and it took me a while to track it down to the owner. And lo and behold, where we started off, over here, thanks to a lovely gift from the guy who had this door and then took it down. You know, here we are, the green door, the real one.